Welcome to the 50 Shades of Pain podcast. My name is Dr. Danny Shapiro, and I'm a doctor of physical therapy. If you're in pain or had terrible medical experiences, I will be telling you why the medical system is broken and why you probably feel stuck within it. If you've ever left a doctor's office and thought, what was that? Is that it? Well, then this podcast is for you. Fear is a very interesting thing. Fear can cause you to avoid things that are actually very beneficial and healthy for you. Fear can prevent you from doing the things that you enjoy. Fear can prevent you from doing the things you love. Fear can prevent you from seeing the people and spending time with people that you really want to be spending time with and doing the activities that you want to be doing with them. And a lot of people hold on to fear, and for good reason. Of course, fear comes from previous experiences. But as it pertains to physical pain, especially when we're talking about neuromuscular or musculoskeletal issues, we have to break that fear. And if we don't break that fear, a lot of people actually stay in pain for longer because of it. I was talking to a patient today and we were talking about how, her fear has played such a massive part in how she feels today. Now, of course, granted, she's dealing with a lot. She's dealing with a very serious injury and a very serious issue, but her fear has actually kept her stagnant. And again, this is to no fault of her own. She hasn't been told this, she hasn't been shown this, she hasn't been shown a way forward until she stepped through my doors. And, we were talking about it today, and I was telling her that I really do believe that pain, right, when we have an issue, when there's something wrong, pain is 30 to 40% physical and 60 to 70% psychological. And you may be listening to this and wondering, well, how the hell is that possible? I can tell you that when we have a painful event, whether it's a sprained ankle, whether it's a torn muscle, a broken bone, for many people, for most people, really, that will change how we operate, especially through our journey of recovery, obviously, but especially after. And if we don't tackle the psychological impacts that an injury can have on someone, that's going to make that individual very stuck. So, in this particular individual, the patient who I'm talking about, she has so much potential. And we've done already so much within just a couple of sessions that's completely blown her mind. And we've gotten rid of so much pain. We've gotten rid of so much limitations in range of motion. We've gotten rid of so much fear and anxiety as it pertains to the range of motion that we got back. And even just within a few short couple weeks, she's already a different individual today than she was when we first started. And the biggest thing that we've done, yes, there's a lot of physical exercises and mobilizations, strengthening exercises that we did, specifically for her issue that, blew the issue out of the water. But what that really did is actually, in fact, break apart the false belief that she had that her body cannot do anything. That was the belief that she had. Her body is not capable. Her body is not able. Her body is lost. Her body is done. That the way she's living before she saw me is the way that she's going to just have to manage for the rest of her life. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. Now, for someone like this, there there are so many people who are exactly like this. And for someone like this, it is so important to break that fear down, to break down the anxiety, to show the actual path forward of what can be done. When we had an initial consultation, like just like a free 30-minute sit down between she and I to discuss, first of all, I want to get to know her as an individual, what her issues are, what her goals are. And I want her to make sure that she understands what kind of provider I am and what I do, and to see if, again, if we're the right fit for each other. And one of the things that she told me was like, look, if you can't help me, will you tell me? I'm like, yeah, of course, absolutely. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste anybody's time. Time is a valuable resource. But I would definitely tell you, once we do the evaluation, if I'm the right provider for you. She goes, okay, because I'm ready to live like this. I'm okay if you can't help me, if this is just something that I'm dealing with because of the actual, she has a very, very special kind of case. with what she has going on. And so she said, if this is just a result of what she has going on, then so be it. Like, she's okay to live with that for the rest of her life. This was the mentality that she was going into with us working together. And this kind of mentality comes from the belief that she's done, that nothing can be done. This is just a consequence of what she had happened to her. And I had a gut feeling that her limitations and the pain that she was having can massively, massively change. I had a feeling. But again, because of her circumstances, I said, listen, I think I can help. It's hard to say until we do the evaluation. Let's at least do the evaluation. Let me tell you, that first session that we had was incredible. The amount of barriers we broke down right in that first session was fantastic. And she's been crying every single session so far. And by the way, if you're listening to this, if this particular patient, if you're listening to this, I'm so damn proud of you. Truly, I am so damn proud of you. Um, but the reason I'm talking about this, and this is not an exclusive case. Almost every single patient that I have ever worked with over the last 4.5 years, fear and anxiety as it pertains to their body, activity, specific functional movements, general movements. There has been so much fear and anxiety that's been built up over the course of the time that they've been in pain or had limitations for. And I gotta say, unnecessarily so. And again, I want to reiterate, this is not your fault. This is not the person who's in pain. That's not their fault, right? People don't know how to deal with this stuff. That's why people go to medical professionals. And it's up to the medical professional to show the way forward and to show a path forward and to show like, hey, okay, here's where we are. Here are our current deficits, and here's where we have to go. But if that process doesn't happen, the person will not get better. Right? If the medical professional is giving general outlines, general protocols, nothing specific to you in your case, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if 100 people walk in with the same issue. I'm not treating everybody the same. Of course not. Everyone has their own body, has their own limitations, has their own specific pain points, have their own goals. Everyone is so different. Everyone's anatomy is different. Yeah, okay, structurally, maybe everyone's the same, but everyone's anatomy put together is different. So how can you treat people the same? And especially as it comes to, again, that fear and anxiety part, where I do strongly believe that there's a 60 to 70% impact on someone's progress and on someone's success with therapy. If you don't tackle the psychological aspect, the fear, the anxiety, the false beliefs, the false education, the barriers that people put up between them and what they have to do, if you don't tackle that, the journey, the process, the experience will not be successful. And again, this is what I found across the board. And it doesn't matter how old you are. A 20-year-old with low back pain, a 40-year-old with low back pain, a 65-year-old with low back pain, all have the same fears. They're all relative to the individual, but the fears and anxiety is still there. And again, if that fear and anxiety isn't taken care of, it's going to fester and grow and further limitate that. It's going to further limit what the person can do and eliminate the possibilities of success. People are always amazed when I start to break down these fear and anxiety barriers. People are incredibly amazed with what I have their bodies do. And it's bending, it's twisting, some like this particular patient where, we were working on her lower back and her neck, and she hasn't really bent forward and stood up without thinking about it in like a year and a half. In a year or a year and a half. She hasn't been able to. Every time she wants to bend forward, she has to strategically drop down. Well, she had to, not anymore. But she had to strategically drop down to try to pick up whatever she was going for. And you might be listening to this and you may have low back pain or hip pain or knee pain or shoulder pain where you still have to tentatively strategically plan how you're going to reach for it, how you're going to, accomplish a task. And you may be hearing this and think like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's me. I've been there. And then going from that within 10 minutes, I had this patient going up and down, up and down. We even played a game called red light, green light. If I say a red light, that means she has to go down and come right back up. Green light means walk. I'll have her walk, 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 say red light, boom, drop to the floor, pick up. Now, of course, this is appropriate to do with her at this time. And of course, we built up to this. But the fact is that the reason I did that exercise, that movement drill, is because I wanted to break the fear and the anxiety as it pertains to picking something off the floor, of having to feel like she has to be super careful not to pull her back, not to, injure herself, because in reality, that's not a possibility. That is a false wall, a false belief that got built up because of her previous experience. Now, this may sound complicated, convoluted, and it may sound a little kind of strange or uncertain, perhaps. But I can promise you, again, every person who I've done this with, it's all relative to the individual. Everyone is specific and individualistic, and their whole approach and journey is very different. But there are so many false beliefs that people have, especially those suffering with pain for a long time, right? People who are chronic pain sufferers. There's a lot of false beliefs. There's a lot of bad information from doctors, really bad information. Uh, every person who has come to me after seeing their doctor has been like, yeah, I have no idea what's going on, or yeah, they told me I need surgery, or yeah, they told me I should get steroid injections, or yeah, they said, oh, once physical therapy fails, you'll have to consider surgery, right? The other surgical suggestion approach, um, and you know, and also just so all of you know, the reason why PT fails, uh, is because people don't address this. People don't also make individual customized plans for the individual. Right? Like that example I gave you, if 100 people come in, I'm treating 100 people differently. In most clinics, they'll treat all 100 of you with the same shoulder pain, right? You have shoulder pain? Oh, so do the rest of these 99 people. All right, all of you in rotation. Let's go. Let clockwork. Let's do it all together now. But that doesn't work. That doesn't work. So it's important to understand that fear and anxiety play a massive role in your pain journey, and they'll keep you limited. Again, if you in yourself, you as the person who's dealing with pain, if you truly believe that you cannot bend down to pick something up because you think your back is gonna just break apart on you or seize up on you, or whatever it's gonna be, or spasm out. If you can't reach up to a cupboard for a plate because you think that your shoulder's about to fall out of its socket, or you're about to get hit with a lightning bolt of pain through your shoulder or through your arm, if you're scared to sleep and you're scared to roll over on your shoulder, if you're scared to roll over because you think your back is going to grab, or you think your knee is going to fall and dislocate itself from its place, you're avoiding so many things when that reality may not be a thing. It's a reality that we've created because of the fear and anxiety. And this is what needs to be broken. It has to be. And this is one of the biggest things that I focus on. I try to get as many pain points for my patients to understand, okay, here's our problem, right? Here's our physical problem. Now, where's the psychological problem, right? Where's the psychosocial problem, right? What are your current beliefs as it pertains to your body in your home, outside, sports, recreational things, hobbies? It doesn't matter whether it's weightlifting, yoga, or pottery making. If someone thinks they can't do pottery making because they can't sit for a long period of time without their back seizing up, or their legs falling asleep because they're numb and there's like a nerve compression, or their neck's hurting and the headache building out of nowhere because of the position that they have to be in, but the person enjoys it, that's a massive reduction in quality of life that has to be rectified. So all in all, I want you to understand this, wherever you might be listening to this in the world, wherever you might be, you have to be with a provider that seeks these things out, that wants to take care of the physical, which is very important, but also wants to help you break down false beliefs, fear, anxiety, and break those things down together. Apply the physical and the psychological together, and incredible things will happen. progress will actually happen. Not just short-term progress, but long-term, long-lasting, longevity, that kind of progress. And that's the kind of progress we need. So please make sure that your provider is addressing both. You cannot take care of one without the other. It doesn't work that way. We're not robots. We're not AI, right? We're human beings. We're emotional creatures. Everything that we do, everything that we do is emotional. Whether it's the food that we buy, the gadgets that we get, the homes that we buy, everything that we choose to do is based on emotion. You go for a walk because you enjoy it, or you go for a walk because you feel like you need it, which is also an emotion. Everything is emotional. So what makes pain any different? Nothing. Pain is physical, emotional, psychological, everything. It combines everything. And so you have to treat it that way. I hope you found this helpful. And I'm going to be sharing a lot more patient cases as we go through this podcast. But I just want you to have some hope, some belief, know what to look for when you're trying to go through your own personal journey. And I hope that wherever you may be in the world, there's love and light and progress to be made around every corner. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you on the next episode.